Hey guys, you should check in. Today I'm doing my Rise of the Tomb Raider PC first impressions and my thoughts of the game. So my perception is coming from somebody who has played the reboot back in 2012 or 2013. My thoughts on that game, I still need to make a video about that. But anyways, we're not here to talk about the past. Let's talk about Rise of the Tomb Raider. So the first thing that caught me off guard were the visuals and Lara Croft's redesign. Her face looks different. She has better hair. She has better hair effects in this game, in the PC port, and the visual is just like amazing when you're hanging off the end of a mountain or a big rock and you see the sunset and the god rays, and the game looks very pretty, and you know it performs really well. And just some for you PC guys, the game uses a lot more. I don't know the engine that this game is on, but it's definitely using a lot more GPU than CPU power, because my CPU was at like, I think it was using like 15. It was between like 15 and 20% of my CPU. My rig is at 3770K GTX 980, and I'll be running the game at I'll be running the game at 1440p. So when talking about that, when I talk about frame rates later in the video, then you guys will understand. So yeah, the PC port, it seems to be pretty good, and I know that I heard a lot of mixed things and that it was kind of controversial among some early reviewers, but I'm kind of trying to, or not kind of trying to, but I'm going to make my own opinion before I let somebody else's opinion kind of sway my view on the game. That being said, I really didn't look up that much stuff on the game. So something I liked about this game also, I actually liked a lot of this game from the first 4 or 2 hours that I played. So one thing I really liked were the addition of side quests and how the game now feels open level versus open world. So let's talk about the open level versus open world thing first. So I don't know if I would consider this open level or open world, just because if the island that you're playing on, or you know the landmass that you're playing on is if that's it, then it's going to be an open world. But I feel like each level going through parts of the story mode kind of makes it feel open level, and I actually like that, because you know when you're running around you'll occasionally pick up side quests, and if you do that you get for example, in my side quest I got the lockpick, so I could just pick locks with that, and that gained me access to more resources. And also that's another thing I liked about this game, the new resource management, how you can craft your bombs, heal yourself. You do a ton of crafting for you know, poisoning arrows, and you know if you suck at the game you have to heal yourself frequently. That's something I liked about the new combat system that they changed from the last game, because honestly I thought the combat from the last game was alright. It wasn't amazing, but you know it got by, and it was fairly entertaining throughout the entire game. Speaking of the entertainment value, let's talk about the story of this game. So this story actually makes sense, and it's told in a very cohesive manner. Pretty much in this game, Laura is following in her father's footsteps, Richard Croft. He's found this way for immortality, and she wants to help the world, but there's also a group called, I can't remember their name right now, but yeah, there's another group. I have the name right here, but that group is they're probably trying to use it for some quote-unquote evil purpose. And you know, from what we've heard about the story, or from what I've heard after playing for like 2 or 4 hours, I think the game's really entertaining, and the story value, I hope it continues, and the story is actually consistently good, because it's had its plot twist already and it's like, oh, what the fuck. But I'm not going to talk about plot twist that much. Another thing I wanted to talk about was the unlock tree is bigger and better. Obviously you guys would have seen it if you've been watching the gameplay. I think it looks like it's a lot of fun, and it's kind of another reason to be like, hey, now that you beat the main campaign, go back and explore all the tombs and go and collect all the relics and stuff like that. And it gives you more of a reason to play a game as a skill tree's purpose is to do so. So I'm really looking forward to finishing the game so I can really explore and see what separates this game from the original Tomb Raider, which felt kind of empty at the end of its completion. I thought the story was amazing. But I feel like that's about everything that I wanted to talk about. So final thoughts on the PC port. I think the PC port is good for the most part. Like I said, 980, 1440p. I had some light flickering issues of like a blue and a purple light, but that wasn't the end of the world. And then the frame rate for me, and I'm running it at max settings, I get between 45 and 60 frames per second. Like I said, 980, 1440p, so take that as you will. And yeah, I mean, I think it performs pretty well. If you run the textures at very high, apparently has a memory bandwidth problem, but you know that was to be expected, because when you make a PC port you have to keep in mind that there are a ton of other people with, an infinite amount of other rigs, and, developing a game for that rig in particular, it can be nearly impossible because you can't anticipate all that stuff. Anyways, that's about all I got for you guys today. You should check it out. Tell me what you guys have thought about Rise of the Tomb Raider. If you guys are a PC player, have you played it? What are your thoughts about it? If you have played the game on the Xbox One, what did you think about the game? Does it live up to the hype? Let me know. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, Twitch. Subscribe for more Fallout, Rise of the Tomb Raider stuff. I'll be out here, guys. Peace.